Let me start, therefore, with Sanju Verma of the BJP. Since Sanju Verma ji, it's your party that's brought in this 100 rupee cut, and the general feeling is it's been done with an eye on an election. The last time it was done was in August, ahead of the assembly elections. Now it's being done before the general elections. It looks like the best way for women to get an LPG price cut is to have elections all the time.
Rajdeep, first and foremost, thank you for having an all-woman panel. Glad to be a part of it. I don't wish to be nasty, but elections are held, be it urban municipal body, civic body, panchayat, state level. Some of the other election is there every 3 months in India. So if you accuse the Modi government of trying to time the LPG price reduction with an eye on elections, I think that's being too unfair and presumptuous. But you're entitled to your opinion. I will now just, not be verbose, and I will just very quickly lay the groundwork in terms of what the Modi government has done specifically for women in the last 10 years to showcase to your audience that, the 100 rupee price cut is not tokenism. I think the biggest contribution for empowerment of women, especially in politics, was the 128th Amendment Bill that was cleared by the Parliament last year, the Women's Reservation Bill, or the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, as it is called. You know, Rajdeep, in 1996, Deve Gowda tried to bring in Women Reservation Bill, but it did not come to fruition. Sonia Gandhi tried to do so in 2010, but she was arm twisted by the Samajwadi Party and the RJD, who were up in arms against it, and the likes of C.K. Jafar Sharif, one of her cabinet ministers, revolted against it. It took a leader of Narendra Modi's stature, a leader of Narendra Modi's conviction, a leader of Narendra Modi's gumption, who has the ability to seamlessly execute his grand ambition, that finally saw the Women's Reservation Bill coming to fruition after 27 tumultuous years since it was initially conceived. The second and more important point is this. Do you remember there was a lot of fanfare a couple of months back? Meera Manjhi, an extremely poor Dalit woman from Ayodhya, became the 10th beneficiary of the Ujjwala scheme, and the 10th crore beneficiary, of the Ujjwala scheme, and the 8th crore beneficiary 2 years back was, a woman called Aisha Sheikh from a small village called Ajanta in Maharashtra. Similarly, if you look at the Mudra Yojana, where 43 crore loans have been given and 30 crore loans, the beneficiaries are women from marginalized sections of the society. I will just give you 2 examples in 10 seconds. If you look at the Prime Minister's website...
Your time is up. Your time is coming to an end. No, ma'am. You can bring them later. No, ma'am. You can bring them later. You made your point. You're saying this is not tokenism. You're claiming that the Modi government is consciously targeting, in a way, women's schemes, women's empowerment. Let me bring in the other national party for a moment. Shama Mohammed, your response. You heard what Sanju Verma says. Look, the Prime Minister has brought in 33% women's reservation, though ironically, and I'll ask Sanju Verma this later, so far the BJP has given less than 15% tickets to women in the Lok Sabha in their first list. But your response to what you've just heard.
Okay, Rajdeep. Now, she got in the women's reservation bill. And she mentioned that Sonia Gandhi couldn't pass it because Sonia Gandhi, or the UPA government at that point, passed it in the Lok Sabha. In the Rajya Sabha, we did not have numbers. They had it in the Lok Sabha as well as the Rajya Sabha starting from 2014. 2014, they could have done it. 2015, they could have done it. 2016, they did not. They did it last year with a caveat that there should be delimitation and the census has not been done. Why, if you have passed the bill, not do it in 24? It's very simple, because they really don't want it to happen. Just again, elections are round the corner. It was just before the assembly elections they passed the bill. So it's again for election purpose and nothing to do with reservation of women. In fact, let's go back to 93 when we passed the Panchayati Raj, and it was the 73rd Amendment Act, basically, and we got in 33.3 reservation for women. So that is something which is being, I must tell you, in Kerala itself, every election, corporate election, your councillor election, it has to be 50% men. Now it's become 50% men, 50% women. And it's really brought a revolutionary change in the Panchayati Raj. And I can say that very clearly. Then she spoke about the gas cylinder prices. Now, gas cylinder prices, when it was $104 a barrel, we used to give gas at 425 rupees. We did it. They have it at 80 right now. 77 it became. They couldn't. What is one of the major reasons for inflation? The food prices is because when your diesel price and petrol prices are high. The diesel price, because you need to transport food from point A to B. The diesel, again, I'm saying around $80 a barrel. We are paying 100 or more than 100 in some states, petrol as well as diesel. During a time, again, I'm going to reiterate, $104 a barrel. We were giving petrol at 70 and diesel at 55. So that was possible, isn't it, Rajdeep? That is because we really wanted to do things. And we did not do it during election time. We did it. We subsidized. That's what we did. The other thing, very important point I want to is, very important is that we have brought in multiple acts. The Prevention of Domestic Violence Act 2005. We got the Nirbhaya Act in 2013. And you remember the huge protest, we did something. But what we are seeing right now in India is there is no protection for women. Rapists are roaming free. Bilkis Banu's rapists, mass murderers have been given parole. They've been left remissions. And the Supreme Court had to intervene and said the Gujarat BJP government did fraud on us. Fraud. These are the exact words.
Okay, ma'am. I want to give exact time to. No, ma'am. I've given you the same time as her, and in the opening comments, I will give each one of you between 90 seconds to 2 minutes without interruption, and then I will ask you specifics because there are questions that all of you have to also answer. Sushmita Dev, to you next. Tell me, how do you see the LPG price cut? Is this what women want? Do you believe that Mr. Modi is, in a way, giving the women a gift on International Women's Day?
You see, there's no doubt that the rate at which the price of the LPG gas cylinders have gone up over the last 2 terms of Prime Minister Modi, it's gone from 400 and something to almost 1100. But I think what I question is the timings. Because if the central government had the ability to reduce the price, whether it's 100 rupees or 200 rupees, whatever, the question is that why didn't they do it over the last few years? Because people have been buying the gas cylinders at exorbitant prices and bringing down 100 rupees when it's gone up to 400, from 400 to 1100 rupees is like a drop in the ocean. And 2 more things I'd like to add to this, that the Bharatiya Janata Party has done this repeatedly. They did it before the Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan election, where they said that they will give gas cylinders at 450 rupees. But the Petroleum Minister in Rajya Sabha denied any such announcement. In the 2022 UP election, they said 2 free gas cylinders, 1 for Holi and 1 for Diwali. That also didn't happen. And neither did CM UP's announcement in November 2023 about giving free gas cylinders come through. See, the point is that price rise across the board is an issue. It's not just about gas cylinders. It's about medicines. It's about other consumable goods. And it's a very, very big issue amongst the middle class, lower class, and the poor people. So, these doles come only as a knee-jerk reactions to elections, and it is not real service to the people, because if Prime Minister Modi was actually concerned about the prices, he wouldn't have timed it the way he has. That's what's suspect to me.